Let's talk about something closer to home. And in fact, for a lot of people, it is said that you spend more time outside of work and home in your car than anywhere else. And it is true in cities like Mumbai, especially if you have to commute one way 45 minutes to an hour. So the question is, how do you go about and buy a car if it is your intention to do so? Should you buy it on loan or should you buy it outright? What are the advantages? If you're a professional, should you use the purchase of the car to set off against your earnings and utilize the tax laws in your favor? How should you do that? To talk about all of that and more, I'm joined in studio today by Abhishek Mehta, who's a chartered accountant and who is the founder of Investa Capital. Thanks so much, Abhishek, for taking the time, as always.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much.
I know for a fact that you're an enthusiast, and so there is an emotional aspect to buying a car. A lot of people dream about owning their first car, but I'm talking about removing that from the equation as much as you can do that, right?
Yes.
There is a reason, even when it comes to your finances, when you would want to buy a car, if you were spending more than a certain amount of money, and I asked you whether you could come up with that figure in a city like Mumbai. Were you able to?
So, see, even if you take a basic car of about 8 to 10 lakhs, the EMI of such car and the maintenance and everything will cost you at least 10 to 15,000 rupees a month. So right. You need to weigh that if you're spending that much amount of money on transportation in a month's time, and whether even after buying a car, you will go by the car or by the public transport. So you have to weigh your cost and benefit analysis before going and purchasing into the car.
And depends on the car. You've taken a 10 lakh car, but yes. I think a lot of people generally go maybe a little bit more.
15 to 20 lakhs in a basic.
So, and then you divide it per month, and you also have to account for the health, for the insurance, for the motor
yes.
insurance. The higher you go, the more you're paying.
So the insurance is there, the maintenance is there. Yeah. Nowadays, there's a parking cost. Everywhere you go, it's not as easy as it was earlier. Then driving is not easy, you know, especially in metro cities. You have to be really careful. A lot of time I see I have not made the mistake, somebody else comes and dent my car. So you have to factor in all those things while buying a car. It's not an easy thing. You know, paying the money and buying the car is easy, but maintaining it on day-to-day basis it's like a baby. So you have to take care of that on a daily basis.
I can sense the emotions attached to that, and I know that, as I said, you're an enthusiast. But having said that, when it comes to actually buying a car, from a financial planning standpoint and good money management, is it a good idea to go out and buy a car on EMI, or should you always buy it outright? They say that buying a depreciating asset with a loan is not a good idea, and this is the definition of a depreciating asset.
But how I look at this, usually I follow a 25-20 rule. Basically, you should have 20% as a down payment.
Sure.
You should take a 5-year loan, because you will usually use the car for about 5 years. After 5 years, you get bored of the same car. So you should take a loan of 5 years. And your EMI should be 20%, max 20% of your income. 10 to 15, or probably max on the higher side. If you will use the car really rigorously, you can go up to 20%. This way, what I usually do is, every 5 years I change my car. So once I've paid my 20% down payment, I've paid the 5 years EMI, I sell the car, I have the down payment money coming in, I can go and buy another car. So you have to buy a car with the sense that I will use this car for 5 years. Also, what happens is, I don't want to use my past money, what I have saved, for my future benefits. So usually every month I'm earning, every month I'm using the car. So from that earning only, I would like to expense out the car's EMI. So my philosophy is that you should definitely take a loan. See, some loans are good. Your house loan is good, your car loan is good, your education loan is good. So probably you can easily go for a car loan. Second benefit what a car loan gives is, suppose I have taken 10 lakh rupees, car loan. If I keep that money into mutual funds or equities or anything, that money will easily double it, in 5 years.
5 to 7 years,
5 to 7 years, they will double it. But if I take a 10 lakh car loan, I pay for 5 years, I'm going to pay 12 lakh 40,000 rupees. So I will get more money if I invest that 10 lakhs wisely into other asset classes like bonds or mutual funds or equities, even gold for a matter.
Sure.
Because there's a cash flow difference as well. But your car loan is much cheaper as compared to your, investing.
It's cheaper than, it is cheaper than investing. If you're paying what now at this moment, what 9-10%?
8.5-9% if you go to a PSU bank.
9%.
Yes.
Okay, and you're getting, 12 to 14% you would say are the 5-year returns for equity markets. So that makes sense. Okay, so it's a strong argument to make.
Yes.
If you have a business or if you're a professional, then you can also have the advantage of setting off the expense of buying a car as part of your expenses.
Yes.
How does that work? What is the tax law?
So obviously buying a car for somebody who's working, like not on a salary, who's working on themselves, like business, profession, it's better for them because they can use it, they can show it in income tax as a business purpose vehicle. One thing is they can claim depreciation on the car, 15% per year.
Oh.
Okay, if you buy an EV car, you can claim accelerated depreciation of 40% per year.
Wow.
Okay, second thing, whatever insurance you are paying, you can claim them as expense. Whatever petrol you are, petrol or other things you are paying for the maintenance and all, you can also claim them as expenses. So you will easily save almost 30-40% of your money while buying a car.
So explain this to somebody who is watching for the first time and does not understand tax, right? So and with an example, so if you say that a 20 lakh car,
yes,
okay, you can claim the entire 20 lakh in the first year?
No, you can claim 15% of 20 lakhs, which will be about 3 lakhs.
Sure.
So you will easily save a lakh rupee tax by buying a car every year because of the depreciation. Secondly, whatever loan you take and the interest you are paying, interest also can be claimed as an expense.
Okay.
So if I have taken a loan at 9% rate,
sure,
my effective tax rate, after if I consider somebody as the highest slab rate of 30%, my effective tax rate, interest rate will be 6.5%.
Sure, because you're removing that 30% from, okay, so that makes sense. So there is a significant benefit.
Yes.
Is there a rule of thumb that you should follow with regard to the type of car that you buy? Because the tendency for a motorhead, for somebody who is an enthusiast, is to maybe push the envelope a little bit.
Yes. So I think for the first time buyers, better if you buy a second-hand car. Second-hand car comes at a very reduced price, and also because you are learning on the first time, so you are more accident prone. So better you go for a second-hand car in your first car, and then probably you can keep on upgrading your car every 3 years or 5 years with how you are learning to drive. That would be a better thing to do rather than just going and jumping. And mostly people should not buy if they are only going to use it on Sundays. If you are keeping your car Monday to Friday at your home and just going to use it on a Sunday and you are buying a luxury car, then it will not be of any benefit until and unless you have a lot of surplus money. If you're taking it on EMI, you're paying interest, loan, everything, and then you're just using it on a Sunday, then I don't recommend that you should buy.
And there's the other thing, speaking of luxury cars, a lot of people during COVID-19 got some bargain deals, right?
Yes.
But they found out very quickly after that the maintenance, the cost of insurance, everything else was making it unaffordable. So don't go out and buy a second-hand car that you can't afford to maintain.
And as you go higher, like if you go for a bigger and bigger car, your maintenance cost increases.
Yeah.
I think a BMW Merc easily costs you about 1.5 lakh a year to have the basic maintenance of the car done, and then changing the brake oil, brake pads, everything costs a lot in luxury cars.
Yeah, and the paint costs quite a bit as
Yes.
well. In a city like Mumbai, that's something to bear in mind. But having said that, what about buying a second car? Because often you have two people commuting in the family, and space is a constraint. But assuming that you have the ability to have a second car, what should decide? The same factors?
I think more or less the same factors. Second-hand car comes at a very depreciated price.
Sure.
Once if I bought a car for 20 lakhs, after 5 years it would sell for around like 7-8 lakhs. So you can get it at a very cheaper price. Even if you take a car, like I've seen factory cars being sold at 30-40% depreciation, which are used hardly by these Mercedes, BMWs and all. So those cars make a lot of sense as compared to going and just purchasing a new car from the showroom.
I have a counter argument to what you had said at the start.
Yes.
You said your philosophy is to take a car on EMI.
Yes.
Now, suppose I have done that for my first car.
Yes.
But I have decided that 5 to 7 years down the line, I will buy another car.
Yes.
And I know that I will likely spend X amount of money. I will likely spend more than I did on the first car, right? Because I want to move up in the world. What if I set aside a certain amount of money every month towards that goal?
So see, if you are going to sell this car and purchase a new car, then you really don't need to save it. Like usually what I do is I sell my current car, I get some money.
On the depreciated value, no?
On the depreciated, that helps me to do the down payment of the other car. Because you need just 20-25%. Even if you go and buy a 50 lakh car, you will just need 10 lakh rupees to do the down payment. So your earlier car can easily comp off for that. And you can take a 40 lakh rupees car loan and use it. Nowadays, very good schemes are being run by a lot of luxury cars is that they will buy back the car after 5 years.
Okay.
So that's built in your loan. So your EMI drastically reduces. They say that after 5 years, I'll purchase this car from you at a guaranteed value of 50% of the car.
Interesting.
So your EMI drastically reduces by 5 years. So a lot of my friends do that also. They take a car, they use it for 5 years. After 5 years, they give the car back and then they purchase another car. So you really don't need to save a lot of money to plan the second car, but only thing is you have to keep the car for at least 3 to 5 years. If you have bought a car and you get bored of it in 1-2 years and then you try to switch, that will cost you a lot.
In your experience, and you don't necessarily have to know this because you probably buy something firsthand and you know you've moved up in the world, you drive some very nice cars, but having said that, if you are buying second hand, how easy is it for you to get a loan?
Very easy. I think probably in a day's time, most of these banks, you know, have pre-approved loan schemes going on. So you get it at 8.5%. I took a car loan and the car loan was disbursed in 30 minutes.
Oh.
At 6:30, I booked the car and probably by 7:30, the amount was disbursed. So buying a car is very easy, and on the loan also, it's very easy because there's not too much hassle. The car RC book has to be, the name has to be changed and it has to be hypothecated. So taking a car loan is pretty easy. In fact, in metros, I have also seen people taking bikes, Activas at 1,000, 2,000 rupees EMIs and easily then communicating. You know, that makes things very good for India's, for the communication.
Commuting. But the point is, you mentioned hypothecation, right? So ultimately, this is the truth for a house, for a car that you've taken on loan.
Yes.
The reality is that you're the user of the car or user of the house, but it is hypothecated to you by the lender, right? So ultimately, the right rests with the lender.
With the lender, yes.
If you don't repay the money, they can repossess.
They will take the car.
Or your house, as the case may be. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Now, does that complicate things when you're selling? What do you need to bear in mind? You need to settle the loan when you sell the car?
Yes, so whenever you sell the car, you just need to, you know, pay the loan, and there's an NOC which is issued by the bank. And once you submit that NOC to the RTO, the hypothecation is removed. Most of things have got online now. You don't need to go anywhere. The NOC comes, you just need to upload it on the RTO website and the hypothecation is removed because of the online systems. So it is not at all complicated, you know, in today's scenario to take a loan or even to close. Only one thing to bear in mind is always check before taking the loan, is there any prepayment charges? So if you will prepay the car loan, then they will take 1%, 2%, 3% on prepayment. So always make sure that whenever you're taking a car, there's no prepayment clause, or at least for the first, after 12 months or 15 months, there should not be any prepayment charges.
Always 20% as a down payment, or should you, if you can possibly pay more, pay more?
I don't think so we should pay more. There are better avenues, like if you are taking a loan at 8.5%, you can easily earn a better amount of money on that money. Even if you put in some good bonds, 8-11% can be earned. Gold will give you 10-12%. Equities will give you 14-15%. And you are taking a car for 5 years, 6 years, not 1-2 years. So probably reduce the down payment and, you know, keep your investments and liquidity in place. Also, what happens is, I don't like to, you know, withdraw my liquidity is, if something bad happens, suppose there is a 6 months time period, I can always go back to that money and, you know, use it for 6 months and then again start the EMI paying easily. So I don't want to, you know, hit my liquidity ever.
Last question, Abhishek. I know that you drive internal combustion cars.
Yes.
And very interestingly, at a recent event, NDTV event, we had a very famous owner of a very large industrialist who has a lot of cars. And he says, what are these electric vehicles? They're like toy cars. But then the fact is that the cost per unit when you buy an electric vehicle is actually significantly cheaper,
yes.
right? So have you at all done the math ever?
So I had bought a EV car.
Oh, you had?
Yes, but then I sold it. There's a lot of hassle. You should only buy an EV car, according to me, if your A point and B point is fixed.
Okay.
Okay, if your A point and B point is not fixed and daily it's changing, you should not buy an EV car. Charging is a very big hassle. You know, the charging infrastructure is still not developed completely in Indian market. Secondly, what happens is, if I'm, a usual Indian drives about 10,000 kilometers in a year.
Right.
You, me, any individual, if somebody doesn't have a factory and going every day to the factory, is driving about 10,000 kilometers a year. 10,000 kilometer, even at a 10 average of a petrol or a diesel, is 1,000 liters. How much will 1,000 liter cost you even if the unit price is 2 rupees, even if the unit price is 5 rupees, or even if the unit price is petrol 10 rupee? It is not a bigger chunk. I have seen people spending 3-4 lakhs extra to buy from petrol to diesel, but that 3-4 lakhs is never recovered back.
Yeah.
Because you are just driving...
Petrol to EV, you mean?
Petrol to diesel also. Okay. Even diesel cars are more expensive than petrol. But if you are driving 10,000 kilometers, your average consumption is per year is 1,000 liter. If my per unit price is 10 rupees or 12 rupees, that 2 rupee difference is not making too much sense.
There you go. So that is why these numbers make a lot of sense to talk about in person. I appreciate that you've taken the time. Thanks so much for joining in.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, let us know what you think about those arguments. Very strong arguments being made by Abhishek. But of course, you might have a different opinion. Let us know in the comment section and tell us what you think. Do you have an EV? What's your experience like? In the meanwhile, there's lots more that is lined up over the course of the day on NDTV Profit, and I'd encourage you to stay tuned.